This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, my screen is visible, right?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Suresh.
Yeah, okay. Okay, first, good. Today we are going to see the CI/CD
Suresh,
pipeline,
before
okay?
going into this topic, I had a quick
Yeah,
query.
I will revise it, whatever we have discussed last class. But just I want to give heads up what we are going to
Okay,
see.
okay.
Yeah, because this will helpful for Stanley to identify which class it is. Okay. Okay, so today we are going to see the CI/CD pipeline for the Terraform. Okay, so this is a very simple flow. Okay, just I want to show you how Terraform is handling in the pipeline. So till now we have seen how we are executing the Terraform. We are executing Terraform through manual, right? Manually we are executing. But in this class we will see how the pipeline is executing the Terraform. Okay, okay, we will see that. So last class what we have seen, yeah, the data block import, right? So what is data block? What is data block?
If
Anyone
we want,
remember it?
yeah,
Yeah,
if we want to
yeah,
query
go ahead.
the, yeah, if we want to query the Terraform, sorry, if we want to query any resource,
Yeah, so if
is
you want to fetch the information from the existing resources,
mm-hmm.
it means the resource which is not created to Terraform. Okay, it is available. It may be created using some other source or manually. Okay, that doesn't matter. But it is available in the target platform. I want to fetch some information from the resources. In that case, you can use the data block. Okay, but then what is import? What is an import? What
If
is
we want to
import?
feed any information to the existing
No, no, no.
resource. Or,
There is resource available already in the target platform. It may be created by manual. That's okay. But from now onwards, I want to manage that particular resources using Terraform. In that case, we have to we have to import those information of resources into my state file so that my Terraform will can handle those resources, right? How Terraform is handling the resources? It will check on the state file. So state file will have information of the resources, each and every resources, right? So based on the Terraform is handling. So basically import means there is a resource available already. Okay, but now I want to manage through Terraform. Like going forward, I can manage through code itself. So in that case, we have to import into state file, so Terraform can handle it. How to import? Okay, before going to this, you understood what is data block on the import resource. I think you are getting confused, right? So are you not still clear about these two topics, data block and import block?
Actually, I missed the last session, so if I was not aware, I need to watch the recordings again.
Okay, okay. What about others?
yeah, we will refresh. I didn't refresh and came. I did.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
forgot only. Yeah.
Okay, I will show you in the Terraform registry itself. Wait, you guys forgot. Maybe let me take. Maybe let's go to Azure. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's take this example. Uh, so Azure or AWS, whatever it is, they are managing some images, right? This is just an example I'm telling to you. I'm just explaining to you. There is a OS images, right? Using that images only, we are creating the virtual machines, right? So that images, is that created by you or is it already available? The images,
It is already
uh,
available by
is it,
the
it is
provider.
already available one, right? So now in the virtual machine, while creating the virtual machine, you have to specify the image ID and the image information you have to specify normally, right? So, but in some cases, I want to fetch the image ID dynamically based on my information. I want to fetch it. For example, here they are saying like something like Packer images. I don't know what it is, but it's something like Packer images is already available in the Azure. Okay, so instead of giving the all the information in the resource block, what I'm going to do, I'm going to fetch the information, right? Fetch the image information. So I'm giving, oh, there is a resource group name and this is a name. Okay, okay, Azure image. Uh, okay, Azure image. Okay, so here it will fetch all the image ID, right? Using data source about existing image. So what it will do in this particular resource group, it will search this particular image name, search API, something like the image name is available. So it will fetch the information that can be accessed like data.azureimage.search.id. So I am using an output block. You may use this in the resource block as well. While creating the virtual machine, you can just refer this so that image ID will be referred while creating the virtual machine. So basically, this data block will be used for fetching the information. See here, to access information about an existing image. This is talking about this particular data block. So each data block will have the arguments, right? The arguments and attributes as same as the resource. Argument is nothing but the input to the data block. Attributes nothing but the output of the data block, right? So are you clear? Last class we have seen in detail. Okay, maybe you just go to the recording again. Maybe you come up with questions in the next class. Maybe if you have something. So nothing. It's very simple. There is an image that, I mean, there is a resource already existing in the platform, in the target platform. Maybe it is Azure or AWS or GCP. Now you want to access the information. Now you want to fetch the information of the existing resource. In that case, you have to use a data block. When will you use the resource block? The resource block and data block is having the two labels, right? One is the resource type, the another one is it's a normal user defined name. So when will you use the resource block? Now tell me, then you will understand what is data
For
block.
creating a new resource,
For creating the new resources, we have used the resource block. But for fetching the information, you have to use the data block. Okay.
data block.
Then what is the import? Import is, see, normally the Terraform, right? The Terraform is maintaining some state files, right? So let me see if I have something. I just cleared up everything, so I don't have any state file here. Mm, okay, fine. So
Suresh, before into that, I have a quick query on a
mm,
state file. So how
mm.
do we know whether the state file is in local or remote? So is there any specific command by seeing that? How do we know where exactly it is located by seeing the Terraform? See, as I am admin, I may aware where it is there, but by seeing the script, how do I know? Like, is there any specific command where exactly it is located? Is it can be identified?
No, there is no specific command, but using the provider block, you can come to know. For example,
Actually, some state commands are there, right? List
mm,
like that. So by running some any command, can we able to find the exact location of state file?
no, no, there is no specific command. There is no specific state command to find out the location of the state file. But if you see the Terraform block, right, there we are
Mhm.
specifically mentioning where it has to be stored. If you don't mention anything here, then automatically it will store onto the local machine. Suppose if you want to store in the backend, here you have to specify, right, where we have seen that backend.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so what if
So
that state file got deleted?
if stateful got deleted, then that's it. Terraform cannot handle anything.
Yeah,
If
that's
you run the
so what are the other
yeah,
what are the other option to secure it and do we really need to store only in S3 like that or can we store it in any generally we will store it in AWS shared drive, right? Can we store in that shared drives also or it should be in blob or S3 or GCS like that only AWS cloud it needs to be cloud storage it needs
yeah,
to be stored
in
or it can be stored in shared drive also because local means it will be on local desktop. So what if that
mm,
same state file is getting stored in our shared drive? Because I don't think so everybody will be having cloud access or because this Terraform can be implemented for non-cloud environment also, right? So even VMware also it can be implemented in that scenario. So what if we don't have S3 or AWS? Blob and all. So can we store in a shared drive apart from
shared drive.
local?
Okay, let us see whether it is there or not.
Because if it is shared drive, so how that can be updated in backend? How to reconfigure it?
Okay, okay, okay. I don't see any shared drive here.
That remote option only we need to check. I think.
No, remote is nothing, but that is something that this one Terraform Enterprise. It's not shared drive. You are asking particularly for VMware, right?
Yeah, because right? So, no, yeah, correct. Mainly for VMware.
Mm. But if it is cloud, then we can store it on S3. That is a recommendation. S3 or Azure. Then we can restrict. Only Terraform
So
can
in that
hand.
scenario, I should have the state files in AWS or Azure storage. I should have two providers in that Terraform file, correct? So in that I should have a VMware vSphere related provider as well as the whatever the cloud I am using. So two provider deals I should update. Then only I
You should
can
use.
manage the VMware environment, correct?
No,
But as per the
don't think in that way. But for the VMware, maybe I will check it. But
okay,
normally they won't do like that. Like if you are using, if you are managing VM resources through Terraform, there should be some option to store state file somewhere. It should not be in
yeah, yeah,
S3
yeah,
or
that's why I'm not aware. So because we last time we
yeah, yeah,
discussed only on S3 GCS,
correct,
right?
correct,
So
correct.
I was thinking about
Yeah,
VMware
maybe
also
for
because I'm a
VMware I will
VMware
check it
admin.
out.
So
Okay, okay, I got it, I got it. I will check it for VMware. But if you go for Terraform Enterprise or Cloud, uh, that is common for all the platform. Okay, maybe that is also one option is there. But if you are managing this Terraform locally, then yeah, I will check it out. Maybe something will be there. Only these things in this itself, something should be there. Okay, I will check it out. Okay. But in the
yeah,
cloud, if we have S3 or GCS, there we can have restriction like the other people cannot access that particular storage. Only Terraform can access the particular storage to write or modify the state file. That's how we can have the restriction, as well as we have the versioning concept, right? For every storage we have versioning concept.
yeah,
So we
correct.
can enable the versioning. If something happened, we can revert it back from the versioning file. It's normal backup and restore method. If you do that, then the Terraform
Okay,
state file we can recover it. Okay.
Yeah, and
this
one more thing. So we are removing the resources from the state file, right? So what if I really want to? So in case if we are removing the resources, so on the resource block from the state file, so can we add it back? Uh, is that possible, or from the
no,
previous version
when we are removing the information from state file,
when we don't want that resource or destroy?
yeah, in that case we are using the command, right? See, if you
A
don't
destroy
want
command,
to
yeah.
destroy command or yeah, destroy command only, right? So we are removing the resource block itself in the TF file. We are not touching the state file actually. State file will be
Okay, okay.
managed through the command only. So in general, we should not touch it because if you miss something, then state file will get corrupted. So recommendation, you should not do anything manually on the state file. Okay,
Okay.
so
And
you cannot
the last
update.
question is like,
Mm,
see, I'm not sure because yesterday, last class I was not there. I just want to make sure whether it is covered or not.
mm,
See, like,
mm.
I think I asked a doubt a few days back, like, whichever is created through Terraform, we are able to manage. What if the resource is not created with the help of Terraform? So how it can be managed? So it is covered or it
Yeah,
too, or
super. Yeah, that's what that is the second one. So we have seen data block, right? Data block is nothing but we have to fetch the information from the existing resource. Then what is import? So the scenario is someone has created the many resources manually, okay, and now you are introducing Terraform into your organization, and going forward you are going to create the resources and manage the resources using Terraform. Then what will happen? The existing resources. Now you are planning to manage those resources which are created manually, also using Terraform. In that cases, we have to use the Terraform import command. Okay, so Terraform import is nothing but
okay.
in Terraform import is nothing but we are taking control of the existing machine. I mean existing resources. For example, how to do that? So if you want to take the control of maybe this Azure Linux function app, right? If I click it, if you go to all the way to down, you will have option for import, right? So here, this is a command you have to use it. So what is the information we need to pass? This resource ID we have to pass. So Terraform import, this block you should have, this block you should write in the Terraform TF file. After that, you have to pass this resource ID. That's how the resource ID if you pass. I mean, you need to pass. If you pass this and if you execute this command, this particular function app information will be imported to your state file. From now onwards, this particular function app will be managed through Terraform. So we have discussed how to write the resource block, how to import everything in the last class. You just refer
Actually,
it.
I missed it. That was an important class. I missed it. Fine. Let me watch the
Yeah,
video.
okay.
Okay.
I
Thank you.
think
Thank you.
now you understood, right? Everyone, what is data block, what is import, what we have discussed in last class. Okay. And what is debug? Debug is nothing but for logging purpose we are using it. Okay. So what are the logging we have? Trace and then error, warning, information, and then debug. Okay. These many logging stuff we have. If you configure it, the the Terraform will log the I mean it will log all the information into the log file. Okay, what is graph? There is a command called Terraform graph command. If you use that, it will show you in the graphical mode, right? Or what depends on what, and what are the resources we are going to, I mean what are the resources are handling through Terraform, those kind of stuff. It will show you in the graphical structure to have a better understanding. Okay, this is what we have seen. Okay, now today we are going to see simple pipeline structure. Okay, so for this we have to understand first the git repo. Okay, so what is GitHub? Anyone knows what is GitHub?
Public repository, public or private repository.
Yeah, for what purpose we are using it?
We can store our code or file in a
Version control.
decentralized location. Yeah, version
Yeah,
control.
we can store our
It's like a
code and
centralized repository.
yeah, correct. So first we need to understand how this GitHub works, okay? Because this is our source of truth. That means this GitHub repo, whatever the code is in GitHub, that code will be executed by the Jenkins. What is Jenkins? Jenkins is nothing but the that is the tool called the continuous integration and continuous deployment tool. It is okay. So Jenkins nothing but see we are the person who is executing the Terraform plan and the Terraform apply command, right? So let's consider the Jenkins is the another person who is going to executing that Terraform plan and Terraform apply command. That's it. This is the another person just for executing our commands. Okay, that's it. Okay. So once he execute the command, the Terraform command, the Terraform from the Terraform can take the control to create the resources on the particular target platform. Okay, either it is AWS or Azure, whatever it is. Based on the Terraform code, it will create the resources. Okay. So now let us see that GitHub first. Okay. So first let us create one GitHub repo first. Okay, maybe. So let's assume we are going to have the we are going to store the code in our GitHub repo first. For that we need to have the GitHub repo first, right? So let us create the new repository. New. So let's give something Terraform CI CD something we give. Okay. Okay. So let us give the repository name as Terraform hyphen CI CD. Okay. And then let me add a readme. Readme file is nothing but it's just one file. Okay. So the git ignore, I'm adding the Terraform. I will tell you what is git ignore. Create repository. Okay. We have created one repository. Okay. So the readme file nothing but if you open this file, it is having some just content. If you want to add something, it's kind of for documentation purpose. We will use the readme.md file. Okay. So whatever you write, it will be displayed in the repo in the repository parent folder itself. Okay. And what is git ignore? The git ignore is nothing but while executing the command, I mean we are executing Terraform init. What Terraform init it will do, it will download all the providers, right? It will download all the providers and the local repository may have the some state files. So we don't want those to be stored on the GitHub repo. So we can mention what can be ignored, right? So if I mention the asterisk Terraform, then whatever the .terraform folder that will ignore to upload into GitHub. Okay. And if I mention asterisk.tf state, then whatever the .tf state file that will ignore to push into this repository. If you don't get it, don't worry. I will tell you uh, while going through this again. Okay. Okay. Now let's assume we have created one repository. Okay. Now we have to store our all our codes into this repository first, right? Okay. This is the central repository which can be accessed through this particular URL. Okay. Now in your particular laptop or in a particular system, you need to have uh, the Git tool. Okay. So you have to install that Git on your laptop so that you can access the Git related commands. Okay.
Suresh, which tool is that, Suresh? Can you please show that from where you are
It's a
accessing?
Git only. You just Google it, you will get it. So you can download from
Yeah.
the Git site itself. So this is the link. So here you can download. If you are using 64-bit, just to use download it and install it. It's a normal installation, nothing different. Okay. If you are in Linux or Macs, then go for Linux and use this command to install. That's it. It's very simple one. Okay. If you see here, Hari, have you noted down or should I pass here?
You can pass here,
Okay,
Suresh.
okay, okay. Yeah, you note it down. Yeah.
Charles, you can put that link in the chat box.
Mm, okay. So now I have installed Git and this is the version I'm having. Okay, so that's fine. Okay. Now let's say we will download our folders. Okay. We will we will create we will create that particular repository into this particular folder, the training folder. Okay. So let me go into this particular folder first. If you see, I'm having only these things. Okay, this kind of folders only. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to because I'm the developer, right? I need to work on the code and I need to push the code into this particular repository. In that case, I have to clone this first into my local system, right? For that, if you click here, you will have the option like HTTPS or SSH. Okay, so if you go for, I'll just go for SSH. You can go for HTTPS as well. Okay, the command is git clone. Git clone and then give that a particular path, then it will start cloning it. Okay, it cloned now. So if I do ls, you can see one file folder called created terraform
Clone mean
cac.
from the repository it is storing into the local path, local drive, correct? I mean the drive which we
Yes,
selected
correct.
in the.
You are exactly correct. We are just downloading this particular repository into my local system. That means we are cloning the entire repository into the local machine now. Okay. So if I go here, you can see the Terraform CI/CD folder. If I open the folder, I am having that readme.file. The dot ignore file is the hidden file. That's why you are not able to see it. Okay, but the readme file is there. If I open it, you can see this is the content we have it, right? So okay, fine. So now
In future, whatever your file adding into the GitHub repository, it will automatically download here, or do we need to do one more time clone in case if you're adding further into the
yeah,
repository?
I will come to that. I will come to that. So as of now, we have just cloned it. Okay, now my our purpose is we have to add the code here and we have to push it to this particular repository first. Okay, we have to store into this repository, then only the Jenkins can take the code from the GitHub repo and then can execute, right? So we are still in the GitHub repo. Okay, so for that we have to first push it, right? So first you need to have the code. So we can take the code from somewhere. Let me, I will take, I will take these three code, three TFIs. Okay, so I am placing here. So let's assume we have this one. Okay, so let me open this. So we have the code, right? We have placed all the codes here. Okay, Terraform. I mean, these are simple AWS code we have placed here, and provider, and then VM. So for now, I will delete the VM now. We will take this later. Okay. So right now we have a 2 TF file. Okay. Now how to push it to this into the GitHub repository, that we will see it now. The command is, first you have to go to the particular folder. Okay. Now I am into the particular folder. Okay. Terraform, sorry, Git. If you say status, it will show you what are the files has been added, what are the files has been deleted, what are the files has been changed. Those kind of stuff it will show you. Okay. So if you see, after cloning the repository, we have two files has been added here. Okay, main.tf and provider.tf. Okay. So before that, as I'm having multiple GitHub repo, I need to configure this. Let me do this. You have to execute this one. Uh, 1 second. So these two commands you have to execute. So what is the email ID of your GitHub repo, and what is the username of your GitHub account, right? These two things you need to config this. Okay, so this is the command. I will paste you in the chat box. Why it is going like this? We have configured this user, I mean email ID and then username. Okay, after configuring this, now if I say git status, it will show you what file has been added newly. Okay, to track this, we have another command called git add. If you git add and put dot means we are going to add all the files. Okay, suppose if you want to add any specific file, you can just mention the file name as well, but generally we will add everything. So if you do it now, we are saying the this file can be added to the, I mean these files are ready to push to the remote repository. Okay, so now we need to do the commit command. Okay, so the commit command, we are committing it now. Okay, so here you can mention some messages. So commit -m is nothing but the message. You can just mention something like adding new files. Okay. Okay, now these files are committed.
Can you,
Now if you,
sorry, can you please explain what is commit here? Commit means in the terminology, like here in the terminology,
no,
how it
commit
works.
means we are committing this, right? So it means we are going to add these two files into the remote repository. There are two commands you have to
You
execute.
mean to say committing is nothing but giving a consent, like that?
What is that command again?
No, you mean to say that commit is nothing but consent, giving the go ahead, like that?
Yeah, it's like a confirmation, right? So I mean, we are telling to the GitHub repository, we are telling to the Git command, hey, I have added these two files, so just commit it so that I can push to the remote repository. So just always remember, if you want to push some file to the remote repository, you have to execute two commands. One is git add and then git commit. Okay, so git add, it here the point you are telling what are the files are ready to commit. Okay, so if you put a dot, then all the files will be added for the commit. Suppose if you are adding only the specific file, only that specific file will be ready for the commit. Okay, now if I say commit, what are the files has been added, right? The all the files will get committed here, I mean locally. Now if I say git push, then what are the files we have committed, right? Those files will be pushed to the GitHub repository now. So if I say git push, now it is pushed. Now we go here and check it out. Okay, just refresh the screen. You can see the two files now, main.tf and provider.tf, right? Hari, any doubt, Hari?
No, I'm clear,
Okay,
Suresh. So
okay, fine.
from Terraform, we are doing these three. We are executing these three commands to move it to the GitHub repository.
Correct. Who's the person asked the question previously? I thought it's Hari, but voice is different now. Is that Hari or
Yeah,
someone
I'm the one.
else?
Yeah, I'm the
Oh,
one
you're the
who
one.
raised the question.
Okay, okay, fine, fine, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah, correct. Okay. Now
One
let's
small
see.
change is that he is not pushing from the
Yeah,
Terraform, he is pushing from the Git.
yes, correct. We are pushing to the GitHub repo, not to the Terraform. We are still
No,
here
no,
only.
from Git to GitHub, right?
From Git to GitHub. I mean from local repository to the remote repository. Whatever I'm saying the local repository, that means the files which are in my local system. Uh,
Okay,
So
still
here I'm
I'm
having
confused.
the folder, right? This is my local repository. Okay,
Okay,
remote repository is nothing but this is the remote repository.
okay.
Okay, okay. So what are we are doing? We are pushing the files from local repository to remote repository so that
So what
everyone
was
will
the
have
console
access.
actually? You are running the command prompt, right? You are running in the command prompt, right? What is the command prompt exactly? So from where you're doing actually? Here, this one.
Whatever command prompt you can still use this command VS Code command prompt as well. Any
Okay.
terminal, any if it is Windows, you can go for PowerShell command prompt or normal command prompt. It's fine
So you are
as long.
just executing the command prompt terminal.
Yes, yes, correct, correct. See, in this Mac, it's we will call it as a terminal. This is the terminal, okay. But in Windows, we will call it as the command prompt. That's it.
Okay, okay, because it seems to be quite different actually. That's what I,
Okay, okay,
I
okay,
just
okay,
wondered what is it actually. Okay, fine, fine.
okay, okay, fine, okay. Now, as we are pushing to the remote repository, now everyone can access it. I mean, everyone can see this file, right? So let's assume you have let's assume someone has updated this code now, right? Because in your team you may have a 10 members team, so the modules will be split to each one, and they will write the module and they will push to this push the repository, right? So now we want to have the updated code from the remote repository. Then what you have to do, you need to do git pull command. If you do git pull command, what will happen? Now it is already up to date. What it means, whatever the files in my local repository, that is matched with the remote repository. Okay, so for example, let me change this file manually here. Okay, but normally we won't do, but for understanding purpose, let me see, let me modify this. Okay, I just put the test. Okay, just and then I'm committing this. I'm just doing through this remote repository. Okay, just for learning purpose. Okay, okay. Now what happened? Something, I mean, let's assume the other person has modified or the other person has uploaded the new files into this main repository. Okay, I mean the main branch, the branching concept, I will come to that. So here, what has been modified? This particular thing, someone is added. Some developer has been added. It means you need to assume someone has added some modules, Terraform modules here. Okay. Now I want to have the updated code in my local repository. In that case, what I can do? Git. pull command. Okay, git pull command. If I do that, see now it is pulling it. Okay, it is pulling like it is saying there are the readme.md has been updated. Now if I open my local repository, this is my local repository, Terraform -cacd. Okay, and if I go to the readme, I can see the hyphen test now. You got it? What is Terraform? I mean, what is git push and git pull? Git push is something you have in the local repository. You want to push to the remote repository. For that, you need to use the git push command. Git pull command is something in the remote repository. Now you want to have the updated file, you can use the git pull command. Okay, okay. And then let's go to the branching concept. See, for the GitHub repository, you have the branching concept. Branching is nothing but the like you have some common system in that you are having you are creating one folder for your purpose. Okay, let's assume there is a share folder. In the share drive, uh, I can have one specific folder and you can have some specific folder, so I can do whatever the things I want I can do on my folder. Okay, so like that we can have the different branches. For example, uh, Suresh. Okay, so I can create one folder here. I mean one branch. It is nothing but the one folder. Okay, so now in the Suresh branch, whatever I do, that will be stored only on this branch. Okay, if I go to the master main branch, you can still move it. The master branch will have different one. So basically, as we are working as team members, right? 10, like 5 or 10 members in the team. What will we do? The main repository, right? No one will have access to the main repository. I mean the main branch for pushing the code to the main branch. Okay, because the main whatever the code in the main branch, that will be the working code. Okay, that will be used on the production or wherever it is, that will be the working code. Okay, suppose in now we have the some resource we have created and that is stored in the main branch. Now in after a few months someone is coming and telling I want this kind of update I need, or this kind of resource I need to create something they are telling. Okay, in that case what you can do, there will be a team leader, they will assign the task to you, just add that particular module to this code. Okay, so that person can create one branch from this main branch. So what will happen, so I am, let's assume I am the person. Okay, so I have created one branch using the main branch. So I having the updated code from the main branch now. Okay, so let's do this now. So here git branch. If you say git branch, it will show you in which branch you are currently. Okay, let me say git fetch means it will fetch all the branches information. Okay, now if I do branch -a, it will list out all the branches. Okay, so here I have the Suresh branch. Okay, so now if I change the branch, right, for changing the branch, git checkout Suresh, git branch. See, now I have switched to Suresh branch now. So what it means, now my local repository, whatever in my local repository, right, this local repository is nothing but the code. What are the code here? Those are from the Suresh branch. Now if I add something here, right, let me add something. uh, Maybe add new folder. Okay, uh, okay, I have added this file. Okay, Now tell me what are the command to push this to remote repository. See, these are all not Terraform related. Just I want you to understand these things. But as we are going to see the CI/CD pipeline, if you don't get this, just don't worry, leave it. If you go to some, actually these are comes for DevOps classes. Okay, don't get into the deep. I'm also not going to the deep. Okay, just I want to give some basic information. Okay, now tell me how to push to the GitHub repository. There are two commands I told you, right?
Git
If
pull
you say git state,
first.
yeah, first if you say git status, it will show you what are the files has been added. Okay, so for example, if I say let me modify this. Okay, this file I have modified this. Now if I say git status, it will show you what file has been modified. This file has been modified and this two files has been added newly. Okay, so git add first. Okay, git add, I'm going to add everything, and then git commit. Second command is commit. Okay, and then git push. Okay, I push to remote repository. Okay, now if I go come here and I will refresh it, you can see that whatever the commit message I have given, that has been shown here, right? Okay, that is the one. And I am into Suresh branch, and I can see the test folder as well, right? The test folder and the new test file is there, and I can see that readme file also changed. Okay, now if I go to the main branch, I won't have these files, the test folders and the readme, nothing is there. Why it is? Because these two different branches. Okay, so normally what will happen, as the leader told me to that add some modules, so I just cloned the branch from the main, and I have added the modules now. Let's assume the test hyphen folder is a module. I have added it. Now for merging into master, normally we will raise the pull request. Okay, so if we raise the pull request nothing but we are going to, I mean I'm telling the leader to pull the code from my branch to main. Okay, so that is what I'm saying. So compare to Suresh. Okay, I'm just telling from just compare the Suresh for Suresh branch to main branch, and then merge to the main branch. Okay, so I'm going to raise it. Okay, create pull request, and if I say create pull request, it got created now. So now the team leader will get notified automatically. There will be some email configuration notification will be configured in the GitHub repository. Based on that, the team leader will get the notification. So here the team leader come to this particular pull request. See, every pull request will have the number. Okay, so for example here the number is one only. So this is the first time. Okay, so that is why it is the number one. Okay, so the leader come here and it will open here and he will compare it, file change. They will go to file change and they will compare each and everything. If they are good, then they can merge it. Let's say we can merge this now. Okay, so merge pull request. Okay, so confirm merge. If I say merge, okay, that is merged now. So if I go to pull request, nothing has been opened, one is already closed. Okay, so now if I go to the main branch, I can see the test folder and then Suresh. Everything has been merged from the Suresh branch. Okay, so this is the basic. This is how in the real time they will create their own branches. Okay, uh, see, there is lot of strategy we can use when we are using the GitHub repo. Whatever I'm telling you, that is the one type of strategy. Okay, they can have multiple branches for each and every user or each and every feature, and they can develop their own code and they will merge into the master branch. I mean, there's a main branch. Okay, okay. So forget about that. Okay, so now you know at least something, you know how the GitHub is working now. Okay, how we can clone, how we can push it, how we can pull it, everything you know it now. Okay. Now let's go for the this one Jenkins now. Okay. Uh, I close it. Okay. So the Jenkins now. So this is the Jenkins file. Okay. So this will differ for according to your pipeline. If you are using Jenkins, you can have this. If you are using Azure DevOps or AWS DevOps, that is different. That there I think you will write in the YAML kind of things. Okay. But as this is Jenkins, this is a Jenkins declarative, I mean pipeline script it is. Okay. So here we can write the stage by stage. Okay. So the first stage is checkout. You don't try to understand this entire thing. Um, just understand the concept. Okay, this is another kind of scripting. If you don't know this language, don't worry about that. Just understand the concept. Okay. So what we are going to do here is first we need to check out. What is checkout? We need to check out, right? We need to check out the code from this GitHub repo. It is nothing but we are cloning this entire repository into the local machine. I mean, Jenkins is nothing but the one server only. Okay. So what will happen? The Jenkins server will clone this GitHub repo so that the local machine will have the updated code. That is the first task. That is the first task, right? After that, the second stage is we are running the Terraform init command here. Okay. As the Jenkins machine is a Linux machine, we are using the sh command to trigger the command. Okay. So, and the next stage is we are validating it. Okay. Terraform validate command we are executing, and then Terraform plan command we are executing, and then Terraform apply command we are executing. Okay. So basically Jenkins file is nothing but we are telling Jenkins server, hey Jenkins, you need to do these many stages. I mean these many tasks you need to do. Just we are telling to Jenkins so that Jenkins will take care of these whatever we have written, right? These things will be executed by Jenkins. Okay. Okay. So this Jenkins file should be there on the this particular repository. This file should be in the repository itself. So we will copy that. Okay. Now we have pasted here. Okay. Okay. Now we have Jenkins files here. Okay, fine. We have Jenkins file now. Before going to that, let's check whether this Terraform code is working or not. Okay, that we need to check locally first, right? Okay, plan command is working, so maybe apply also will work. Let us see. Okay, now we have added this Jenkins file, right? So I'm just adding and then git commit. Okay, we have pushed it now. Okay, so I'm going to here, and I think it should be on the my branch, right? So let me raise a pull request. Okay, now in the main branch we have the Jenkins file. Okay, now let us configure the Jenkins pipeline. Okay, so I have installed the Jenkins server in my EC2 instance. Okay, this is my Jenkins server. Okay, so here I can access through the public IP. So let me access this. Okay, so in Jenkins server we have the jobs. So normally the job is nothing but the pipeline. Okay, so let us create the new one now. Okay, new item, and then Terraform. Maybe let's say AWS pipeline something. AWS pipeline. I'm choosing this pipeline, and there are many uh, pipeline types we have. Okay, so if you want to configure something, the multi-branching pipeline, we can go for it, but let's go for the simple pipeline for understanding purpose. So here you need to check the GitHub project. So we have to because Jenkins, we have to inform Jenkins, right? So what kind of which GitHub repo it has to be cloned, right? Where it has to take the code, right? So here we need to mention the GitHub repository. So this is our GitHub repository. Just mention the URL of the GitHub repository. And here I am choosing the GitHub hook trigger. So why we are using it? Because whenever uh, there is a push to the GitHub repository, then automatically this should get triggered. Okay. So maybe this we will come to later now. Okay. Uh, okay, the pipeline script, right? The pipeline script. What is the pipeline script? Whatever I have shown you, right? This is the pipeline script, the Jenkins file. Okay. So you can write here itself. That is also one way, but we have in our SCM repository, uh, in our GitHub repository, right? So you can choose this, and what kind of SCM we have? We have a Git, and you need to mention the repository URL here. So I just mention it. Uh, I think here we have to copy this. Okay, for cloning we have to do this, and then credential. I have already configured credential in my Jenkins, so I have chosen it. And from where we need to clone, it is from the main branch, right? We have to give the main branch and the path of the Jenkins file, right? So Jenkins file, it is in the parent folder itself. So just I'm mentioning only the file name. If it's stored into any other folder, you need to give the path. Okay, okay, fine. Apply, save it. Now we have a pipeline is ready now. Okay, now if I run the pipeline, right? If I build now, right, what will happen? This is the pipeline which will be accessed by the developers. Okay, so they will have access here, and the code is in the common repository now. Okay, so the code is in common repository, and the execution also the centralized place now. Okay, so no one is having code in their local. Okay, so now we have pushed all the code to the remote repository. So this is the GitHub repo is the source of truth for us now. So if I build now, let's see what will happen. Okay, we forgot one thing. Let me cancel this. Okay, one mistake we have done. So here we have to give the here we are telling the checkout, but which branch we have to tell to this file also, right? So now what will happen? This checkout we will use this particular GitHub repo to checkout. I mean to clone. Okay. So let me push it again. Okay, I pushed it. Okay. So it is just updated. Okay. Now let me raise pull request to merge with master. This is the file has been changed. Okay. See this from this to this we have changed it now. Okay. So create pull request. Okay. Now let us trigger the pipeline. Build now. So once it is executing, if you go here, you can check in the console output. There you can see what is happening. Okay. So first it is trying to clone it. Okay. So after cloning, it is using the Terraform init command here. Whatever we are saying, right? Whatever we are told to Jenkins file, it is doing that. So it is now Terraform init, and now it is validating. The validation is successful. Now it is executing the Terraform plan command. Okay, plan is completed now. Now executing the Terraform apply command.
So Suresh, we cannot pause asking confirmation to apply, right? When we run this Jenkins, like whether each step
No,
has been
that is
progressed as expected.
um, see that we cannot do it, but actually that is not the automation. That if you want to pass it and ask the confirmation from user, that is not a
Hmm.
kind of automation. It has to be automatic everything.
Yeah. But we use it in Spinnaker, like, each step to
Uh,
understand if the plan is correct and what are the changes that we expect are all there, and
oh,
then
okay,
we
okay.
give
No,
the
no, that
continue.
is still there. In Jenkins as well, we can still do that. We can still do it.
Hmm.
We can ask confirmation. If we say confirm, then only it can proceed further. We can do it. Yes.
Okay.
But for just a landing purpose, I have not included those stuff. We have to modify the Jenkins file then. Okay.
Okay. So it will
Okay.
be in the
So
script, is it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it will be in the script here. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now it got failed actually. So see here, this is the status I told. First it is checking out. Sorry, first it is checking out and then executing Terraform init and validate and plan. But in the apply it got failed. Okay. So why it is failed? You can check the logs here itself. Okay, invalid. Okay, duplicate security group. Okay. Mm, Only this security group is in already exist. Terraform SG is already exist. Okay, let us modify this now. Okay. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, as soon as I merge it, right? As soon as I merge the code, then automatically this Jenkins pipeline will get triggered now. Okay. So that kind of configuration we are going to do now. So for that, what we have to do, we have to just go to configure, and there is concept called hook. Okay, web hook. Where is that?
Yeah, the third one from the build
Yeah.
triggers.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if I do that, then you need to configure something on the GitHub repo. Now if I execute the pipeline right from the Jenkins, it is fetching the code from GitHub repo and executing Terraform commands. Okay, that is fine. But I want to execute. I mean, I want to trigger the pipeline automatically if there is a change in my code. Okay, so what in that case what will happen? This GitHub repo has to know the Jenkins information. Then only the GitHub can trigger the Jenkins pipeline, and the pipeline will trigger the Terraform commands, right? So now we have to configure the GitHub repo. Okay, so let us go to the GitHub repo. So this is our GitHub repo, and if you go to the settings button, there the concept called webhooks. Okay, so here this is the webhooks. So here you need to add the webhooks now. So add webhook. Okay, so here you need to mention the payroll actually. I mean payload URL you need to mention here. Okay, so that payload URL something will be like this. So what is the IP address of our Jenkins? I mean IP address name or whatever it is. So this is our IP, right? So it will be HTTP. This is the one, right? Okay, so colon 8080 slash, this is our Jenkins pipeline URL. So in that you need to add just simply get a webhook. This particular key we need to add it. Okay. Then you need to add into the our webhook in the GitHub repo in the payroll section. Okay. Payload section. Okay. After adding it, let's change this to JSON, and then just that's it. Now you can configure here like when this particular Jenkins pipeline should get triggered. Okay, I'm just mentioning just a push event, or else if you want to configure for some other thing, you can select here. Like you can configure something like while pulling, or while creating the tag, or while forking it, right, while merging it. There are many options here. While pull the request, there are many options here. You can check out whatever you want. So whatever you are selecting, it means whenever there is the particular event, then the pipeline will get triggered. Okay, as of now I'm using just a push event. So what will happen whenever there is a push event, then automatically this particular pipeline will get triggered. Okay, now let's see it now. Save, add webhook. Okay, I have added the webhook now. Okay, now as we know that the security group has some issue, right? So let us modify this. So let us modify something like this. Okay, now we have updated it now. Okay, now we say git status is saying the main.tf got modified. If you want to know what has been changed, you can say git diff. If you say git diff, it will show you what has been modified on the particular main.tf. Okay, so here it is saying this one has been modified like this, and then okay, so I'm saying git status one file has been modified. I'm adding git add, and I'm saying git commit and the git push. I'm doing the git push. Okay, okay. Now if I go to here, let me raise a pull request now. So here merging is nothing but that is also kind of a push event, okay? Because we are pushing the latest to code to the main branch. Okay, let me create the pull request. Okay, I just pushed it now to the main branch. Let's see now it is automatically triggered or not. Okay, yeah. Now if you go here, it is not triggered. Okay, here I have made mistake. Okay, so this HTTP, this is the URL, and then this is the one. Okay, so update webbook, everything is correct. Okay, I think now you should get triggered. Let's see. Let me change something again and then push it. Okay, its status one file has been modified. Git add, git commit, push. Let's assume I'm the developer. I raised a pull request, and now the owner of this main branch is reviewing my code, and as he is checking everything and everything is fine, now he is doing the merge pull request and confirm merge, so that what will happen? The latest code will be pushed to the main branch now. Okay, so now this pipeline will get triggered. See here, automatically got triggered now. Okay, here it got triggered two times because one push for the Suresh branch and another push is for main branch. We have to control it. Okay, that we will see it later. Uh, okay, let's see what will happen now. Okay, anyone just can you guess what will happen for this particular thing? Will it work? See, there are two things are executing. There are two pipelines are executing the same code. Okay, now it is executing now the second code has been also executing. I mean second pipeline. Will you think this will work, the latest trigger?
No, Suresh. The first one will
Why?
be create the first one will be create the secret. I mean resource group. The second one also trying to create the same resource group means it will be created here.
No, 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 no. Anyone, can anyone guess? What will happen in the backend? I just want hear from you the exact thing. Okay, tell me what will happen as soon as it execute Terraform plan or apply command. What is the first step it will do? The Terraform plan command.
It will compare with the state file, so it will check whether the
No, that
existing
is the
resource.
last step. No, that is the last step. What is the first step? The very first step.
It will do
Check the
the
back
Terraform.
end.
It will lock the state file, right?
Ah, okay. Mhm.
First, it will log the state file. Second, it will refresh the state file. I mean, Terraform refresh command. It will execute, and then only it will compare to the desired and current state, right? So what will happen? This pipeline has already executed. It got logged. Actually, the state file got logged here, right? So now this one we should have. I mean, we should get error stating that. The particular thing is locked, but here it is a two different thing, right? I don't know what will happen. Let's see. But here we have not specified the state file backend, right? If we have specified the backend, then whatever I told, right, that should have happened here. Okay, but as here it is a two different folder, I don't know. It may take or it may not take. Let's see.
So Suresh, in this case, right, where will the state file be? The location of the
Uh,
state file?
yeah, the location of the state file should be in the Jenkins server itself. In the server itself. Okay, so
Hmm. And
uh,
also, I have a doubt, like, how do you get this Jenkins host in this EC2? Like you install?
just it's a normal installation. Like there is a steps already available.
So once we spun up the EC2, we just install Jenkins in there.
Right, that's it. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Y- Yeah, just as a normal Ubuntu machine, I just created it. On top of that, I just executed commands to install the Jenkins. That's it. And here,
Okay.
if you see, I just configured. There are two ways, right? So here, if I go to that security group, IAM role, I just added this role. So this particular Jenkins server will have access to the AWS. Okay. Okay. Anyone tell me? Suppose if I still want to use the same Jenkins server, but I want to create the resources on the Azure. How can we do it? Can anyone understand how this Jenkins server is able to create resources on the this particular AWS instance?
For the Azure concept is nothing but Suresh. We are mentioning in the provider block, I mean Terraform provider block, the informations. So Jenkins will directly go to that Azure one. It will be deployed there.
How this Jenkins server will know that Azure information? Azure in the TF file you have mentioned all the
Mhm.
things, right? The TF
Yeah.
files, I mean the resource information. But
Yep. Yep.
how this Jenkins server will know I have to create these resources on this particular Azure account?
Because
In
the
the case we use
ter-
service principles and service
Yes,
principle like
yeah, service principal. So what you can do, you can configure those service principal information as an environment variable in this Jenkins server,
Jenkins services.
so that this Jenkins server now can access the Azure portal. The same thing, like it's also, I mean, whatever the information you have given to the server, this server can access it. It's like our laptop now. In the laptop, I have configured the service principal, so I'm able to access our Azure portal, like the same way. Okay, okay. So
So currently you are like directly given, say, I mean, if you want in the Jenkins AWS, you configure the enrollment variable or using service principal, or you just log in AZ, log in that one, Suresh?
Okay. So here I have not used the Azure yet. Okay, because my Azure portal got suspended. I need
Okay.
to rectify that. But yeah, if I want to create the resource in Azure, I have to create the environment variables here in this. Here, if after logging to this Jenkins server, I need to create the environment variable, export something like that, right? So
Mm.
documentation provider. Yeah, so this one. So here we can see the environment variables where. So this one. So this entire export command I can use in this Jenkins server, so that this particular Jenkins server will be able to access my Azure portal. That's it, nothing else.
Got it.
Yeah. So it got failed. Okay, why failed? Plan itself failed. Okay. Okay, actually, I tried to change the EC2 profile, right? At the time, it got executed and it was not able to find that particular role. It got error. Okay, leave it. Uh, okay, now let me change the branch. Okay, let me change the branch to main branch itself. Git checkout main. So now I am into main branch. Git check branch. Yeah, I'm in main branch. Wherever the star, there I am. Okay. Okay. Let's see what it is doing. Okay, I think something happened with my Jenkins server. It's not responding. But now you got the concept right. So, so this is what I have been keep on telling in the first class, right? So, if I take this right, so there is a code in the GitHub repo. So now in the CI/CD, it can be Jenkins, it can be Terraform Enterprise, whatever it is. That will trigger it, and that will create the resources on the particular environment. So we can have the same kind of code, and that can be triggered through the pipeline. Okay. So as of now, I just showed to the only one environment. If you want to have the different environment, we can use hyphen var file and tf var file. I mean hyphen var hyphen file. There you can mention the particular tf var file, so that the input will be taken from the tf var file and it will create the resources. Okay. So this is how the Jenkins, I mean the CI/CD pipeline will be used. Yeah, so now if you take it for the Azure pipeline or DevOps I mean AWS pipeline, the same concept. Let me show you. So just replace this particular part to the Azure DevOps. So actually in the Azure DevOps, this two combination of these two is the Azure DevOps actually. Okay. So in the Azure DevOps itself, you will have this kind of a repository you have. Okay. So you can store. So whatever the concept we have seen here, right? You can add, commit, to push, pull, right? Those kind, the same command can be used for the Azure DevOps as well. But the only thing is the code will be stored into the Azure repository, not in the GitHub repository, but that also the SCM only. Okay. And the instead of Jenkins, they in Azure they have something called I don't know the name, but in the Azure DevOps, they have also the CI/CD pipeline. So that they will write the code in the YAML file, as we have write in the this file, right? Like that, they will write in the YAML file, and that will be triggered the Terraform. The same thing goes for the AWS DevOps as well. We have a code commit. Okay, code commit is nothing but the GitHub repo that we can store all our code, and code build is nothing but the Jenkins that will trigger. There again we need to write the code in the YAML format. That there you can mention what are the commands has to be executed. Then that code that code build will be taken care of executing the commands and whatever it is. Okay, so
Uh,
let
Suresh, commit is nothing but we are just like informing others like it is ready. You can use like that, right?
which
See, say
commit
for
you are saying?
example, I'm just writing a code. I'm just writing a code, and I am just placing it in the commit. So in that case, the code is ready and it's ready to use like that. Am I right?
No, it is ready to push actually. See,
Ready to push.
here, yeah, as after committing it, still that is visible only to you. That will not be visible to others. In the local repository, you are saying, in the local repository, for the local repository, you are saying, hey, these are this committed and these are ready to push to the remote repository. That is the meaning actually. Okay.
Because in in Azure DevOps, right, there is a concept like
Uh-huh.
commit.
Okay.
So whether that will also implies the same.
So there you don't have a command called push.
Yeah, push pull request is there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
push
in
pull is
Azure,
there. So
you
you
have
need to say like
the
once the code is ready, and
uh,
if we execute commit, then it's ready to push. Am I right?
yeah, correct, exactly, yes.
Oh, okay. Fine, fine, fine,
So
fine.
even in Azure DevOps, you have to clone it in your local machine, right?
Okay. Oh, and why, Suresh, like we are using commit instead of doing it directly to the push command, executing the push command? Why we are doing initially the commit command and then followed by the push command? Is there any purpose like that?
Uh, there is no purpose. See, uh, first of all, why we are
You can
using the add
directly
command?
you can get my question right. See,
Yeah,
we are
I
ready
got
with the
your
code.
question.
Yeah, we are
I
ready
got
with
your
the
question.
code. Why we are using the commit command before pushing that? Like we can do it directly, right? Pushing the command.
Yeah, yeah. See, why we are using the git add command?
Git add.
You may added like 5 files and you may change like 10 files, whatever it is, okay? But your
Okay.
requirement is you need to add only the particular file or particular folder, something like that. In that case,
Correct.
you
Correct.
can do the git add. Okay, okay.
Okay.
After adding, you need to use a commit command. So I got your question, but that's how the design is. So git commit is
Uh,
nothing but now you
it's
have to
ready.
give
It's ready for
some
use.
message, right? See, for what purpose you are adding this file to the GitHub repository? What you have modified it? For example, if I go to the GitHub repo now, right? If I go to the GitHub repo,
That's it. That's it, Suresh. Like it's like saying that it is ready for use, like
yes,
for
ready
other
for use.
users.
Ari,
Yes, correct. But
Okay.
I'll tell you. Ari, I'll explain you that why commit is needed. See, currently you are doing changes now. Okay, so you remember that in one after 1 month or 2 months, you just want to know what changes has been done on the particular time. So in the version controller, people developer what usually do, right? They will put the what are the remask on the commit time. So they will say I have modified so and so.
Sorry, re. Sorry. What is that? Can you please come again? Re.
I
You
mean,
mentioned something.
reconfigure something, editing the file, something.
Okay, okay,
For
okay, fine,
example,
fine, fine.
so that time they
Okay,
can see the commit command. They can easily understand that.
okay. So it's ready for use like that.
Yeah, I'm correct, Suresh.
Yeah, yeah, correct, correct, correct.
So you mean to say that you are developing your code like that a month back like that. So you gave the commit command and someone who just tried to execute that code after a month like that. Initially, he saw that like it is already committed, so it's ready to use, and we can execute the command like that. So he can meant that like that way. Am I right, Vijay?
No, 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 no. See, even I did some commit and I pushed the code also. You are doing some changes. That is also will be applicable. That is also you can give some informations.
Okay,
In the real time, if you see means you can understand that. See, that is a structure. The AWS what will do means as Suresh mentioned that they'll split up like main and branches. Developer will work for the branch folders. Whatever the changes
correct,
they
correct,
done, they are create a pull request. While the pull request in the AWS asks them to put the commit informations. Even it can be a space or OK or whatever the remarks they want. So that is a structure. It will be work like that. So in future also you can go and see the code commitments. You can see the remark why it is changed, what was changes wanted.
No,
So
no,
that I will show you
I didn't
whatever.
mean like code commit. It's not like code commit. I'm just asking the general commit actually.
No, 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 no,
It's
no. Vijay is also telling the same, Hari. So what Vijay is trying to say here is, let's say we have, let's say there are five people in your team, okay, and there are some
okay,
person is committed message and pushed to the GitHub repo, okay, and after some time they realized they found some error in the Terraform code in the real time environment. They have found some issue in the target platform and they find it out, okay, because of this particular modification we got this error, we got this issue. They find it out. Now they want to identify who is the person modified this code, right? Who is the person committed this code, right? In that case, if you go to this commit message, right, in the GitHub repo, you can see all the commit messages and who committed it, right? If you just assume if there is no commit, right, then will you have this kind of commit id and commit message?
okay. It's like a kind of audit logs.
Yeah, it's kind of audit block, yes.
Audit log. Okay.
So they can
So to get
directly
the
go to the
information,
particular
who did the
commit and
changes?
they can
Who did the
identify. So if
changes and who did the changes like that? It's like
yes, yes, that is also one of the purpose. Okay, so if I go to the particular commit, then I can see what has been changed and what has been added. So if I go here, I can see these files has been added now, right? So in future reference we can have this as well, and what is the
okay.
message the user has been given while committing this. So those kind of stuff we can see here.
Okay, so other
Okay.
users can determine, can just confirm like they can assume like somebody did the changes and so on so changes has been made with the
Yes,
commit
yes,
message.
yes, yes, yes,
And the primary user like the target source user like it's like saying to the target user saying that this particular code or something like that it is ready for use
yes, correct,
to
correct.
announce.
I
It's
mean,
like a
ready
kind of
for
announcement.
push actually. It's ready for push. It's
Okay,
not ready for use
okay,
because ready for use means you mean to say indirectly that is available in to everyone, right? But it's not actually.
okay, okay.
It, only after pushing only it will be ready for. I mean, it will be visible for others. It will be ready for executing the code.
Okay.
Okay.
So ready to push is something from the GitHub to this one,
From the
right?
local
CI/CD.
repo from the local repository to remote repository.
Okay, fine, 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 fine.
Okay,
That is
maybe
GitHub.
you were
GitHub, right?
just
That is GitHub.
comparing with Azure and you were asking this question. Maybe as I am not aware of the
Yeah,
Azure, I
correct.
am not able to
Vijay.
visualize the your question actually.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you're absolutely correct. I'm just comparing with the Azure DevOps, right? The same thing. What you said earlier, like
Okay,
we can
maybe if we get some free
replace
time,
the
right? In the
Jenkins. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Maybe if you get some free time in next class or somewhere, you just share your screen to everyone and show what you mean. Then let's understand and let's try to clarify your doubt. Okay.
No, even I am also in the budding stage only. I am not. I don't
Okay,
have
okay,
any much
okay,
knowledge in
okay.
that actually.
Now, even
So I'm
Azure
just
DevOps,
learning.
are you creating the local repository for the Azure
No, no, no,
repository, or
no, no, no. GitHub only. GitHub only.
oh GitHub only? Okay.
Yeah.
Then, okay, for storing the Terraform code, you are using GitHub repo, and for
Correct.
executing the Terraform code, you are using Azure DevOps tool.
Correct. 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 Yes.
Then
From
here,
from
what is
GitHub
your
to
confusion with the commit then?
no, no, commit is nothing but like so I got your point actually. Like it's like
Okay,
a
okay.
kind of announcement as well as the one purpose is like announcement that it is
Mm,
ready to push, and the other one is like to for the audit logs purpose. Like who did that,
right,
who did the changes
right,
like that in the past.
right, right.
So
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, now that particular thing got completed here, I could see all the stages got completed. So in the Terraform, I sorry, in the AWS console, we should have. Let us check whether it got created or not. Security group. Yeah, this is the one we have created now. Okay, so this got created. Now, if someone wants to add new code, right? For example, they want to add the EC2 machine now into this particular module. So in that case, they can add uh, the extra code. I mean the real code. So let me take it from there here, right? So nothing but just I'm adding it, and I'm going to push it now. Okay, so check this, add it. Commit. Okay, now that it should trigger automatically now. Okay, okay, there's some issue. I have to pull the code first. Okay.
Maybe you are in a main branch. That's the reason.
Yeah. Actually, my local repository is not having the latest code from the main branch. That is the problem. So what I mean is, see, previously we created, I mean, we cloned from the main branch. Okay. At the time, I am having just only three files. Okay. But after that, the Suresh branch is having many codes, and we have raised a pull request and merged a lot of files to the main code. Okay. But that those files by local repository is not aware, right? So because I did not do the git pull command, my local repository aware of only the Suresh branch. So now as I change to the main branch will not have those files. So that's why we have to do the git pull, and then we need to add the new files. Okay. Okay. Now it has to trigger automatically. Okay, it got triggered. So okay, so this is the low. So if there is anything happened in the code, if there is any update in the code, then automatically this pipeline will get triggered. This pipeline will trigger the Terraform commands. So that is the concept. So okay, I thought to show Azure as well, but my Azure account got suspended. But the same concept, you just try it yourself. Mm, if you have any doubt, just ask me, or maybe if you have time in any other class, I will show you the Azure as well. But the concept will be same only. Okay, just we are going to use the Azure TF files and just execute the same command. Okay, I think that's it. That's the plan today. So any doubt you can ask me. We have 15 minutes more. Got failed. Okay, I have in the VM code I have mentioned the wrong security label name. That's why it got failed. If we correct it, it will work. Okay, that does not matter. But you understood the overall concept of CI/CD pipeline, right? In the real time, just I have shown only the basic stuff, okay? But in the real time, it will be like more cosmetic stuff and more logical stuff. Like you will have a lot of option to select like it for the different environment like that, okay? So any doubt? In the next class we will see the modules block. We have seen all the blocks except module. So next class we will see the module block. So before that I want to make sure you understand about the GitHub repository, because the module you need to understand the GitHub first, because we are going to store the modules on the GitHub only. Okay. Okay, fine. So if you don't have any doubts, we can wind up. We will meet on Thursday again. Okay.
Okay, Suresh, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah,
Okay,
bye.
Suresh. So in the upcoming classes, what all the topics will be covered, Suresh?
Okay, so the Thursday we are going to see the modules, and Friday we are going to see the expressions. The expressions will contains the conditions. I mean the if conditions, for loops, and there are few more expressions is there. Splat, dynamic block, everything will be covered. And then the next week, the provisioners, and then Terraform Enterprise and Cloud. Uh, Terraform Enterprise and Cloud, and then the last class. I think after that, the last class would be the like general class. I have some use cases. I just show you, and there are some questions we have, and what are the best practice of Terraform? Those will be covered. So I think totally 8 or 7 classes will be there. So let me tell you again: module, expressions, and then Terraform Enterprise and Cloud, and then provisioners.
Okay.
Totally 5. And then yeah.